Today's show is all about Mel Kiper Jr. mock draft. He did a 2-round mock draft. We're going to go over the selections that he had for our Detroit Lions with pick 28 and 60. Now, there's no trades in this mock draft. He just went with the selections. We're going to go over why he selected it. Is it realistic? Is it possible? Is it unrealistic? All of that through this mock draft. Let's go ahead and get it started right now. Do you like mock drafts? Well, sub. We got the NFL Draft coming up in a couple weeks. Weeks left for some mock drafts, so if you like it, subscribe to the channel. Let's go ahead and get into Mel Kiper's mock draft. He says one of the primary goals for Detroit's front office this offseason is to target a player that can produce alongside Aiden Hutchinson. Marcus Davenport was brought back after missing the majority of the 2024 season, but added help that would benefit Detroit's defense in solving the riddle of being able to sack the quarterback for more consistency. Continues on. The Lions' defense was hammered by injuries last season, even before the injured reserve started filling up. Though the edge rush depth chart was concerning, Aiden Hutchinson, who's coming off a leg injury, needs a running mate. And the only other Detroit edge with the more than 3 sacks this season was Darius Smith, who's acquired at the midseason and released this spring. So with the 28th pick in the 2025 Mel Kiper mock draft, he has the Detroit Lions selecting Donovan Ezeiruaku, the edge from Boston College. Who is this guy? Well, he's 6'2", 247 pounds. Obviously, we just talked about Boston College there. He is a senior. What did he do this past season? In 2024, he had 37 solo tackles, 16.5 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and 0 interceptions. He produced at a significantly high level in college. That's what we would like to see. We want to see these players who they select actually produce in college. Produce. Now, let's go ahead and look what he's done so far throughout his college tenure. He's had 113 solo tackles, 30 sacks, 8 forced fumbles, and 0 interceptions. He has produced for his time in college. It would be a solid pick if the Lions decided to go this route. We need an edge. He fits where that spot is going to be. He would help out the Lions immensely. Young talent, helping out Aiden Hutchinson on that defensive line. Grade the mock draft so far. A, B, C, D, or F. Give me your thoughts in the comments. I like the pick. And I think, again, when we look at what he would bring to Detroit, pass rush. Absolutely would be a solid pick for Detroit. We just got to see if he is going to be there. Now, if you look at mock drafts or if you listen to the professionals and you look at everything, this is generally the spot where he's at within a couple picks. So this is realistic. This is not a situation where, he's just not going to be there. This is quite realistic of a possibility that he could be available for the Detroit Lions. I would be happy with this pick. We need pass rush, and we need it significantly. And I think that the Lions have to get it within the first 2 picks. It's not a want, it's a need. He would bring explosion to the defensive line. Yeah, he's a little bit lighter. He's not the biggest pass rusher. That's okay. We have Davenport, right? We have Joshua Pascal. Let's get a guy who specializes at rushing the passer. That's what it's all about. Today's show is sponsored by Game Time, and I'm happy to have Game Time back. Game Time is the best app, the app that I trust and that I want you guys to get right now. It has so many great features, specializes in last-minute deals, and saves up to 60% when buying last-minute tickets for sports, comedy shows, theater. It doesn't matter. They have Game Time picks, making last-minute tickets buying easier than ever by quickly highlighting the best seats in the stadium. And there is so many events going on right now, whether it's concerts, baseball, hockey, NBA. There's a lot going on. And the best part about Game Time is that you can see the prices, tickets up front, all the pricing, so you're not getting surprised by hidden fees at checkout. They are the lowest prices guaranteed, and if you find a ticket and cheaper in a different app or service in the exact same seat, same row, same everything, Game Time's going to credit you 110% of the difference. Go see the Tigers. Go see the Red Wings. Go see the Pistons. Go see Kendrick Lamar this summer in Detroit in the summer. Get started and take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account. You got to have an email. Use the code CHATSPORTS to get $20 off your very first purchase. Again, how you do it, you go to the redeem code section, plug in CHATSPORTS, CHATSPORTS, and you're going to get $20 off your very first purchase. Terms do apply. You got to create an account. You got to have an email to save that money. The link is going to be in the comment section and description of this video, so if you're buying tickets, make sure you're using Game Time. Put in the code CHATSPORTS for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets and lowest prices guaranteed. Now let's go ahead and move on to pick 60 for the Detroit Lions that Mel Kiper decided to give a selection here, and it's another extremely realistic possibility. He has the Detroit Lions taking Andy Belton from NC State, offensive lineman, to beef up that line for Detroit. Now, Andy Belton, he's 6'6", 336 pounds. He plays with great power. He's impressive, competitive, and toughness. Massive frame, and we just talked about his solid length, 34-inch arms. He's great thickness in his upper and lower halves and has to play strength to match. Grade this selection A, B, C, D, or F. Give me your thoughts in the comments. Why did he have the Lions go this route? He says, the Lions lost Kevin Zeitler in free agency, and some combination of Kayode Eosika and Christian Mahogany is currently in line to take over the right guard, Kiper writes. Belt is 6'6", 336, has played all but 11 of his 2,146 career snaps at left tackle. However, he can kick inside in the pros, and the Lions might opt that in year one. For the Lions, if they wanted to go offensive line, this makes a lot of sense. He can bring great power, strength, and depth to that offensive line. We lose Kevin Zeitler, you bring in Andy, then you can work with the offensive line. We know Graham Glasgow is getting older, and he didn't do as well that he has done in the years past this year. You lose Kevin Zeitler. He would be an upgrade. You would have Mahogany. You would have Andy. You would have Frank. You'd have Taylor and Panay. The offensive line would be good. And getting younger in the offensive line, it does need to occur because we do have some old folks on this offensive line. So if the Lions wanted to go this route, it does make sense. And I think it's possible that they can go this way. Now, I look at this mock draft. It could go either way, offensive line edge or edge offensive line. I prefer this, going edge first and then offensive line. My personal preference, depending on the players. We don't know exactly who's there, but suggesting that there's going to be some, decent edges available at 28, that would be my thought process. But make no mistake about it. If they do have a player they covet that's a lineman, I don't know, Gray Zabel or Booker, whoever it is, they could go that route as well. Let's do a comparison to a mock draft that was released today on SI.com, and you're going to see the same theme that's taking place. Now, for their 28th pick, they're going, it's the same theme, but in a different direction. They're going with Gray Zabel from North Dakota State University. We talked about him immensely. I've had him in my own mock draft, right? The 305 senior offensive line, plug-and-play type of deal. Addressing the offensive line, addressing what the Lions have been building for many years is the trenches up front. And again, if this is the theme that's taking place, right? Offensive line, edge, offensive line. And if you look at SI's number 60th pick, it's just going, like we said, the opposite direction. They're going Josiah Stewart, the 6'1", 245 senior pass rusher out of Michigan. And 8.5 sacks, 22 solo tackles, 2 forced fumbles. Again, pass rush, offensive line, pass rush. The theme taking place. Josiah Stewart, he is very productive, and the Lions have made it known that they're interested in him. Now, I don't think will he be there with the 60th pick? I do think he would actually be there with the 60th pick. I think if the Lions wanted to go Stewart, expecting he would be there if they decided to go a different direction with 28, they're banking on the idea that they will get their pass rush around 2. I think they can. I think he will be available with that selection. And that's what we're seeing. Offensive line, edge. Edge, offensive line. If you look at the rest of these mock drafts, it's pretty simple after that. Defensive tackle or wide receiver, and then a safety. But that's what we're seeing in mock drafts. We're seeing a lot of offensive line, pass rush, and interior. That's exactly what I think this draft is going to be about, at least for the beginning portion for the Lions here, is going, with the big bodies up front. Now, grade the SI mock draft, those 2 picks that I just did right there in the comments. They got Gray Zabel and Josiah Stewart. I think that's they're both solid drafts. They're very similar in a stance that they're getting the pass rush and they're getting the alignment. For me personally, absolutely possible. Now, what we need to wonder, and this is what we need to try to figure out, is are they going to go trade up or down in the draft at 28? We seem to trade a lot. Now, if we trade up, depending where we're at, we can get a premium pass rusher. Maybe that's in the plans for Brad Holmes. We don't know. We definitely like to deal. I'm sure they've made phone calls for the selected players. If they do that, then the whole draft, is going to be thrown out of whack at that point. I wouldn't expect, if the Lions say they would go to 28 to 11, that they would give up this year's second-round pick, but they could be swapping picks and giving up a pick for next year, say like a first round if they wanted to move up that high. They have options. Or if they wanted to move back for that matter, they want to go from 28, maybe even out of the first round, pick up another mid-round pick to help the Lions' depth out, that's in play as well. But both these mock drafts, Mel Kiper Jr. and SI's right there, is what I expected. Mel Kiper, he talks to a lot of people, obviously, in the NFL. He talks to a lot of insiders, so he's not just making guesses to make guess. It's what he's hearing, and then he kind of puts his thought process into that. And we're all hearing the same thing, and that's why we're seeing the same type of mock drafts everywhere. So in the comments, let me know your thoughts about this draft. With that said, folks, adios.